Just live here with Bayut. Find real and authentic properties using TrueCheck. Download the app or visit Bayut.com.
Right, so we've been talking real estate already this morning. This is our opportunity to dive a little bit deeper into the real estate and property market with our friends at Dubizzle and Bayut. Director Sales Dubizzle and Bayut is Fibha Ahmed, who's here to A, answer our questions, B, address some of your questions. If you've got any, feel free to text them into us now on 4001 or WhatsApp to 048715500. We're looking at landmark projects this week. Yeah, I know there's a lot of projects out there that we talk about, a lot of areas that we talk about, but what's on the horizon, quite literally, what's just around the corner? It is fair to say that the market itself has gone pretty supersonic. So when you've got a supersonic real estate market, Fibha, what you really need is a brand new development called Oasis, of course. Morning to you.
Morning to you as well.
So a lot of chat about Emaar's new development, the Oasis. What do we know?
So the Oasis was launched back in June. They did a big event at the Armani Hotel. We saw it was super luxury. They announced that the high-end and the high-net-worth individuals are going to get access to unparalleled luxury, as we must say. This project is going to pump in about 7,000 units, as per the announcement from Emaar. And we've already seen sales for one of their recent launches, which is Palmyra, which has 4 to 5 bed standalone villas. Guess the price.
It's not going to be cheap, is it? That's for sure.
Absolutely not.
Are we talking double-digit millions or single-digit?
We're talking single-digit for now, since it's the first launch. They're going easy on us. So you have your 4 bed and your 5 bed starting at 8 million, 8.7. I was just looking at some transaction data, and it's going. It's going. On the 14th of September, I counted about 8 to 9 transactions for the 4 beds, probably by one individual, many, we don't know that. But certainly there is interest. Emaar builds, you all go, we all go.
Emaar builds, and and people will come, that's for sure. You've got evidence there of the demand for these projects. What's the sort of timeline we're talking about for something like the Oasis?
For the Oasis, they're looking at handover in 2026, 2027. It's a massive project, master development. They're looking at making retail outlets, massive area. They're saying 25% of the area that they're going to cover is only for your leisure activities, your parks, your canals, your lakes. Everybody's going to be very close to nature. They're going to, since it's a little towards, away from the hustle and bustle of the downtown and the marina, it's in the area of Dubai Land. So look forward to some tranquility and some peace, and look forward to living in that home if you bought one around 26, 27.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we've got a tale of two cities as almost here on the show this morning. As Brandy was speaking to the team from Knight Frank just a few minutes ago about their new DIFC living project down the estate, as they call it. You couldn't get more central than that in terms of living. And yet you look at something like Oasis, and it's going to a new part of town. It's a little bit far out. I mean, critics could say it's too far out of town, but then that's obviously where things are going to migrate to, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I mean, if you look at DIFC project that has just been announced, who is it for? It's for people that work in that area. It's for people who are young, who probably work in the IFC, if not that, then downtown. Your Oasis area or developments like that are more for your luxury lifestyle, are for families, are for people who want to, work in the IFC, of course, but then drive home to some peace and quiet. So there's going to be demand for everybody, and it's here in Dubai. People are building all the way from Expo City. You look at Qudra, you look at Al Ain. Emaar itself has the Valley development, which is towards Al Ain Road. Really the opposite side of town. So I think you can close your eyes, put your finger on the map of Dubai and ask me, and there's a new project there.
A lot of people will be introduced to the Valley in the coming weeks and coming months. I drove past it last night, in fact, because my son trains out at the Seven Stadium. And look, not everyone goes to the Seven Stadium on a weekly basis, but come National Day weekend, when a lot of people head to the rugby sevens, you know that a lot of people will go past that development, won't they, and go, wow, look at that, they're developing
What is that?
there.
Everywhere I go these days, everywhere. I drive past Suqeim, go all the way down to Al Qudra. Every time I look around and I'm like, wow, there is a new development.
Yeah.
And there are people.
Yeah.
And it's busy. Roads are busy. So no matter where you build, there is a demand. Certainly that area is going to cater to, I would say, again, people who work towards the IFC, Business Bay, towards the older part of the town. They will find it very convenient. And then with the Nadal Shiba Gardens development that's happening, which is closer towards the central Dubai, there's going to be demand everywhere.
We've focused a lot on the Oasis because, as you said quite rightly, when Emaar built, people do stand up, listen, and they want those properties. In terms of other properties that are rounded about, I mean, have we got a number on how many projects are underway or not?
So, as per the DLD records, there has been about 390 projects that has been announced. I heard one of our friends from Property Monitor talk about 55,000 units already entered the market this year, which is more than double than what was announced this time last year. So, many projects coming up. I think one area that's of extreme interest these days is the Expo City, rightly so, because of COP28. End of November, early December. And also the fact that we're all talking about sustainability. We talk about how busy the roads are. We all want our new fancy gadgets. But one thing I think we really need to focus on is how we're going to keep this planet green and sustainable. And that's the agenda that the Expo City is promoting with their new developments. Just last week, I was sitting with the client, phase 2. In Expo City for townhouses. Shamsa Townhouses has been launched, so there's demand there. Mangrove residences.
Quick question on the COP28 question, because a lot of people will look at Expo City and say, yeah, but why hasn't Expo City really caught on now, after all the interest from Expo? Because it is well connected. We've got a metro station there already. Is COP28 going to be the event that brings more attention to Expo City?
In the next coming months, absolutely. But I would kind of disagree with that, because I would say if I look at the data for Dubai South in particular, over the last year, it has gained so much momentum, about 90% more transactions in the last 12 months in that area. And that's pretty close to Expo City. I mean, they're just neighbors, right? So I would say COP28 would bring immediate interest and immediate attention, but that's here to stay. I was reading up on all these Fortune 500 companies that are moving their offices and are going to place 3,000 employees in Expo City. I think it's going to be here to stay. You have your Siemens, you have your Emirates Airline, you have DP World. They're going to put their offices there. Some of them are going to house their staff there. And then if you look at the Expo City website, there is a long lineup of events happening in the near future there. And in the future, exhibition centers, startups, you give them place to bounce off ideas, make their new office. That's the place to keep an eye on.
We've got 30 seconds remaining. We've covered almost all of it, but 30 seconds for ultra luxury. Basically, just put the word reserve on the end. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. You got the Shoba reserves, you got the Katura reserves, and then the estates. So probably before hearing Knight Frank today, we should have said estates and reserves.
Estates and reserves, and then you could sell up, that's for sure. Listen, can't thank you enough. Thanks so much indeed for joining us live on the show this morning. Fibha Ahmed is the Director of Sales for Dubizzle and Bayut. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
This is the Business Breakfast. Let's find out what's happening on the roads.
Abu Dhabi. Kids stay, play, dine and card for free until the